Charge your introduction, Ida. Go! BAM! How's it going, guys? My name is Theo, and this is
Ida.
And in today's video, we are gonna talk about how me and
me
how we first decided to go to Korea and how we met and why we decided to stay, I guess, a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So, without wasting any more time, we are gonna start with her.
Basically, I'm just gonna do a quick run through of my life and why this happened. So when I was a kid, my mom used to go to all of these like work trips to Asia. So she would go to like China, Nepal, Mongolia, like all these cool places, and she would bring back gifts for me. And I was like, wow, that's so cool, you know, and that's, I guess, how my interest was sparked. We'd do a time jump until my teens, where I started watching anime. Yeah, for a while I was like, oh yeah, I should learn Japanese, like, oh yeah, Japan, that's so cool. And I was watching all these YouTube videos of just like anime stuff. I found this like hairstyling video. I will link it down below because I actually became friends with the guy in the video because I emailed him basically. I was like, hey, can we be friends? And he was like, sure. So go to his video and say hi from me. So yeah, we started talking blah 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 blah, and he was listening to K-pop, and in his video he actually had a song by Seungri, Strong Baby. And that was my first encounter with K-pop. I was like, oh, this song is really good. I like this guy Seungri. Looked him up. Oh, Big Bang. What's that? That's cool. Oh, what's this? 21. And you know how it just happens. I stopped being interested in Japan, basically.
She went from kawaii to oppa.
Time jump again. I got into university in Sweden and I did 1 year of university there. At the time, Silvia, who I hope all of you know by now who that is, we were friends back in Sweden as well. She wanted to go to Korea to study Korean because she was not in university and she was just kind of sitting around at home being bored. So she was like, oh, you know what, I might go to Korea. And I was like, oh, that sounds like fun, I want to go too. So I did. I dropped out of my university. We came here together attending a language course in a university, and that's how we met. That.
Oh, yeah, me.
So funny. Let's just do your story up until when we
Okay.
meet, and then we'll just carry on.
So, let's start from the beginning.
I was born.
I was born, no, but when I was young, I always liked to play a lot of video games with my friends, like most people or most guys in their young teens like to do. And when I graduated from high school, I started studying jazz music at this school in Sweden, like a pre-college thing. While I was attending this school, I was living in a dormitory and I didn't have access to all the things I wanted, like on the internet, so I couldn't play games. So in my spare time, So in my spare time, instead of playing games with my friends, I started watching a lot of like esports and stuff, in particular StarCraft. For your information, like StarCraft has a long history in Korea. The Koreans are basically the best at StarCraft. So I watched a lot of like Korean broadcasts of StarCraft basically. During these broadcasts, in between games, they would always play a lot of Korean music, especially like K-pop and stuff like that. So I was like, what is this? So I started to look it up on the YouTubes, I guess. And started listening to some of it as well, and that's basically how my interest in Korea started. And I also started to watch a lot of like game shows, like Running Man and stuff like that. And while I was studying at this music school, like eventually I started to grow really tired of it because, you know, sitting in a practice room for 8 hours a day was not my thing basically. So what happened was that I started to practice less and less music and watch more and more StarCraft and watch more and more Korean like game shows and stuff. But it wasn't until I discovered Korean movies. I sat down and watched all of the movies by a director whose name is Park Chan-wook, or Chan-wook Park in English, I guess. And most people know one of his movies, which is called Old Boy. But he has done a lot of good movies, and I basically fell in love with all of his movies. And that is when I knew that I wanted to learn Korean. In my spare time, well, not in my spare time anymore. I basically didn't practice music much at all, but I sat in my room all day trying to learn Korean, watching Korean stuff in general, using a website that I guess most of you are familiar with.
Talk to me in Korean.
Yeah, talk to me in Korean. Talk to me in Korean.com.
Same.
So after studying music for a year, I decided to drop out, just like Ida, we are dropouts. And while living with my parents, I kept up my habit of learning Korean and stuff like that, and also my habit of playing a ton of StarCraft. Because I was gonna be a StarCraft pro in Korea, you know. That obviously didn't happen, but I decided to come and study Korean for a year. And that is how I met this girl and her other girlfriend and Joseph.
Honestly though, people watching right now, do you know who Joseph is?
He was in like a couple of videos in the beginning, but he is not with us anymore.
He didn't die, he just went back to his family. He's the guy with the glasses in our end screen. Go follow him, he's sad.
Bam! I arrive in Korea. At the airport, I lose my map that is supposed to take me to my dormitory. So my first day / night in Korea is basically me walking around. It's basically me walking around in this big city of like 10 million people, having no idea where I'm going, with a big suitcase of all my stuff. I try to find my dormitory, whatever, at 1 o'clock or something in the night. I find it. There are no sheets, so I spend that night sleeping on a little towel on top of my rock hard bed. Because all beds in Korea are super hard for some reason.
I made it.
Kind of. All I could think was, what the hell am I doing here? I should go back to Sweden tomorrow. Bam. So it's the first day of school. I woke up that morning, like super excited. And then I was like, wait, you have to eat food as well. I remember not thinking about it even once before I came to Korea. But that morning I was like, how do you eat food in this country? So I just went out and grabbed like these disgusting like instant sushi things in one of the convenience stores, and I was like, this is Asia, they eat sushi, of course. Anyways, I eat my disgusting sushi and I went to school, which I didn't know where it was, but I found it anyways.
Just follow the stream of people.
Yeah, like our language school was located on a big hill, and that hill that you had to walk up every day was horrible. So I walk up this hill trying to find like our language school. I was pure and innocent. A little Swedish boy on an adventure. Most people at this language school, they were either like Chinese or Japanese or from some other Asian country. But I managed to see one guy that wasn't Asian. Well, I guess he's Asian actually because... Okay, he wasn't East Asian. It was Joseph. He was sitting on a bench like a lonely little boy. Needing a life companion or something, I don't know. I basically walk up to Joseph, that's where I'm getting at. And I sat down next to him and we started conversing in English because I obviously didn't know that he was Swedish.
Racist.
How is that racist? We speak for a while and he's like, oh, I'm from Great Britain. No, that's not what he said. He said, I'm from England, I'm from London. That's my British accent. And I was like, oh cool, blah blah blah. And he's like, are you from Sweden? I said, yeah. And he was like, "Det också mannen!" And that means me too bro or something like that. And that's how we became friends, I guess.
And in that moment...
we see two females approaching in the distance.
Yeah, so we had just climbed the hill he was talking about and we're like, okay, we made it. And then we look around and we had seen the night before they sent out an email to all of the students. So you could see all the names of all the people who would be attending the school. And we were scrolling through that list, seeing if we could like recognize, like not names per se, but like, oh, maybe that's a Swedish person or like an American or, you know, whatever. And there is this one name that's Theodor Hergård.
The most Swedish name ever.
And we were like, he's probably Swedish. So we're climbing the mountain, we reached the space outside of the building, I guess, where all these Asians, just Asians everywhere, like Asians of every color, standing there. And then there's this one really, really white boy sitting on a bench. And we're like, I bet that's Theodor Hergård.
You came up to us, I think you said like, you're Swedish, right? Something like
Probably.
that. And I was like, yeah. And Joseph was like, Me too.
We're like, yay!
Yay! It's actually kind of funny how you were outside the school like minutes before everything would start.
Yeah.
And we met the four of us, and that's how it all started.
And then as a bonus, after like the first day finished, that was just like them like categorizing us, I guess. You would have to do a test to be in which class and whatever. And then we all met up afterwards and we're like, food? We sucked.
Yeah.
We found this restaurant that we wanted to go to, and in Korea they have these sliding doors, but they're not automatic. You have to press a button. We didn't get that. So we were standing outside for like 10 minutes and we're like, let's go somewhere else. So we actually went to find a restaurant with an open door because we couldn't figure out how to open the door.
I actually remember what I had that day.
Me too, I had bibimbap.
I had the bulgogi. And I also remember how mind blown. I remember how much it blew my mind that when we were eating, I ordered bulgogi and it was like 5,000 won or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so cheap for this delicious thing. A thing. Stop bullying me. And then like the ajuma, she kept bringing like side dishes and stuff, and I was like, we didn't order this, but we get it anyways. This is so awesome. And I was eating like, that was
good times.
That was blown mind of me. Bye. And now we live together.
Well, not Joseph.
Not Joseph.
He had to go home.
Poor Joseph.
Poor Joseph. It was, actually, even if you haven't seen Joseph because you're a new subscriber, this was all his idea, okay? The YouTube channel, everything.
Well, basically, Joseph, even when we were studying, he was always like, we should make a YouTube channel. We were like, no, that's so dorky. We're too cool for YouTube. But then when we went back to Sweden, everyone except Joseph, I actually went to visit Silvia and Ida because they live in the same city. And me and Ida, I remember we were sitting on like a, what's it called? Not a bridge, but...
We were sitting by the water.
Yeah, and I think either you or me said like, maybe we should start a YouTube channel. And the other one was like, yes, I was thinking the same! Get that easy YouTube money, which hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we made like $2.
Oh my god, we made $2!
No, done.
Well, why are we living in this shitty apartment then? Let's go to Gangnam.
Also, just a huge shout out to Happy. If you don't know who he is, first of all, like just, I don't know what you're doing on YouTube. He helped us with everything. He has been such a good friend. Pyum, pyum, pyum. I hope we answered some of your questions because we've been seeing a lot of requests for like, why are you in Korea? Let me know. How did this happen? How did you
Let me know. If you're wondering why it's only the two of us, it's because, well, Joseph is not here. And Silvia is not here either.
They're
she
in our
is
hearts.
in, where is she?
Singapore.
Joseph is in London.
And we're here.
And we're here, not making money. $2! $2!
But they will be back, at least Silvia will be. Okay, well, this is a really long video.
And she's the one who's gonna edit it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And check out our latest video over here.
Pulver.
Pervert.
Yo, you picked the wrong one. It
What?
says super salt. Why would you? Oh my